She was probably the best female swimmer that the Americans had going into the 1976 Montreal Olympics. Now, I watched most of the swimming live, and I started to notice something that she had noticed before that. The East Germans were pretty strong, and they looked like Rhea Ripley. If you know who that is, that's the American wrestler that has an upper body of a man, even though she's genetically female. She's built like a brick shithouse in relation to muscles and upper body strength. But Shirley Babashoff was correct, and she was chastised in the American media for doing it, but she was eventually found out to be correct because the East Germans were being given steroids without their knowledge. So today in our latest Olympic Heritage podcast, we're talking about Madame Truth, Shirley Babashoff. Now, Shirley Frances Babashoff is an American former competitive swimmer, Olympic champion, and former world record holder in numerous events. She set 6 world records and earned a total of 9 Olympic medals in her career in 72 and 76. She won an upset gold in the 400-meter freestyle relay in both the 72 and 76 Olympics, and she won the 75 World Championships in both the 100-meter and 400-meter freestyle. During her career, she set 37 national records, 17 individual and 20 relay, and it's considered the cleanest athlete, female swimmer of her generation. And for some time, of course, she held all national freestyle records from 100 to 800, which rarely happens in U.S. swimming. Now, after trying private lessons, Shirley began taking swimming lessons around the age of 8 at Cerritos College Pool, a junior college in LA's County's Norwalk, California, as did her brother, the very talented Jack Babashoff, would also become an Olympic swimmer in 76. Now, the native of Whittier, California, born January 31st, 57, was 18 at Montreal. But 9 years previously, she swam for the Bonaparte Splashers with her brother Jack, later swimming for a club in El Monte, California, coached by Don Lamont, a talented instructor. Beginning around the age of 13 in 1970, she swam at Golden West College in Huntington Beach for a company-sponsored team, Phillips 66, the gas company, under coach Ralph Flip Dar through her junior year in high school. Dar coached swimmers who swam in 4 separate Olympics. Shirley attended meets from an early age, and under Dar she began to set age group records. Now, when Dar resigned from coaching when Shirley was 16 in her junior year, she began swimming for the Mission Viejo Nadadors, one of America's top swimming programs, coached by Hall of Fame instructor Mark Schubert. Shirley excelled in Schubert's long and challenging workouts, which included a focus on improving her flyback and breaststroke skills, and including manager weight training. By 72, she was one of the top women freestylers in the country. She continued to work with the Nadadores and Schubert as her primary source of training until the 76 Games, and led the team to win the AAU short course titles in April 75. Now, at the 72 Summer Olympics in Munich, she won golds in the relays in the 4x100 and medley relay, and silver medals in 100 and 200 meter individual freestyle events. In the 400 meter freestyle, she was fourth behind the German competitor Gudrun Wegner. Shirley missed taking a bronze by only 0.48 seconds. But in September 74, Shirley brought a new level to his career. She led the American women's team to a victory over the East German women in a dual meet in Concord, California. She tied her own world record in 200 meter freestyle at 2:02.94, won the 400, and anchored a 4x100 freestyle relay that set a world record. The American women's team was coached by Shirley's former coach, Ralph Dar. So we're entering the 76 Olympics, and a lot of people are saying, hey, Babashoff is going to be the next Mark Spitz, but in a female version. Now, at the 76 U.S. Olympic trials, she won all the freestyle events, as well as the 400-meter IM, setting 1 world and 6 national records in the process. Her performance was considered one of the greatest achievements by any woman at an Olympic trial. Now, at the 76 Summer Games in Montreal, she won 4 silver medals and a gold in a 4x100-meter freestyle relay in world record time, despite the competition being dominated by the East Germans. The 4 silver medals came in the 200-meter, 400-meter, and 800-meter freestyle, and a 4x100-meter medley relay. Although Babashoff never won an individual gold medal Olympic competition, she is still regarded as one of the top swimmers in history, and is most vividly remembered for having swum the anchor leg on the gold medal 4x100-meter freestyle relay team in his victory over the doped-up, steroid-plagued 76 East German women, in what is widely acknowledged as having been one of the single most memorable races in the entire history of women's swimming. I watched that relay, and let me tell you something. The Germans had every capability to win, but I think the amount of stress that their bodies were under, it caught up to them. But you got to understand, cheating to win 5 and losing 1, for them it was worth it. Now, the East German team of Cornelia Ender, Petra Thumar, Andrea Pollock, and Claudia Hempel were heavily favored to win the race. Prior to the relay, American sportscaster Donna Della Verona picked East Germany to win the event, but Kim Payton, Wendy Boglioli, and Jill Sterkel teamed with Babashoff to pull off a great upset as Babashoff outlegged Hempel down the stretch to win the gold medal and shatter the world record by 4 seconds. Now, in the CBC broadcast I saw, the announcers basically said it will take a miracle for the East Germans to lose. Now, after the event, De Verona said, "I have never been happier to eat my words in my prediction I made before this event." Now, Babashoff's time in winning the silver medal in the 400-meter freestyle at 76 Olympics would have defeated gold medalist Don Scholander 12 years earlier at the 64 Olympics in Tokyo. But again, it was proven later on that the East Germans were using drugs to win, but she was never the victories were never taken back and given to Babashoff. But for me, she was the true champion of the games. Now, Babashoff was one of 4 children of Jack Babashoff, a machinist, and Vera Sleekhoff, a housewife. Her father had been a swimming instructor in Hawaii and always wanted his own children to become Olympians. Both of her parents are second-generation Russian-American. Now, after the 76 games, Babashoff was occasionally referred to as Surly Shirley and described as a sore loser by the media because of her public accusations of drug cheating by the East German swimmers. Now, in the States, yes, but in Canada, no. We knew what was going on. We're not stupid. To her credit, she was later proven correct that most of the German athletes were using PEDs, substantiated by investigators in the PBS documentary Secrets of the Dead, Doping for Gold. By 1991, after the fall of communism and German reunification, several media outlets vindicated Shirley's accusations of doping, including the widely circulated New York Times that featured the headlines, "Coaches confirmed that steroids fueled East German success in swimming." Most of the East German women's team were listed in the article. It is estimated that Babashoff was denied at least 3 gold medals and, maybe, who knows, world titles as a result of cheating by the East German coaches. I'm not going to say the athletes, but you know how it works in communism. You take the shot or you get shot. In the mid to late 90s, when German news agencies released more detailed information confirming that the former East Germany had a state-run doping program for the 76 women's swimming team and track team, the American Olympic Committee considered giving upgrade medals to Americans, while lost to East German athletes confirmed have taken banned substances. However, that carpetbagger Jacques Rogue, an IOC committee member from Belgium and future IOC president, disapproved the idea as he felt too much time had passed to make the change. Now, the 76 American Olympic 4x100 meter women's medley relay team, in which Shirley had participated in Montreal and won silver, were giving appropriate medal recognition. However, no medal relocations took place, and the East German athletes are still listed as winners. Now, after the Olympics, at the end of her competitive swim career, in the autumn of 76, she enrolled at UCLA, majoring in business. She left the school after a few years, did not swim with the team, and retired from swimming in January 77. She had an endorsement contract with Arena, the swimsuit company, from 77 through about 1980, which required her to work a representative 56 days a year. She also did a few TV spots. Babashoff then worked coaching swimming primarily around LA, and for a period in Korea, coaching the Korean women's national swim team in Pyongyang for the 88 Games. In 78, Babashoff married, but the marriage ended in divorce later on that year, and she did not remarry. Now, in 82, she was inducted into the International Swimming Hall of Fame as an honor swimmer, and in 87 became a member of the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame. She had a son in 86, whom she raised alone, and became a letter carrier for the U.S. PS in Orange County, California, and Huntington Beach area. You can imagine Shirley Babashoff delivering mail. I would figure you would recognize her. Now, on April 30, 2005, she received the Olympic Order, the highest award of the Olympic movement, during the inaugural Olympic Assembly luncheon. The IOC presented the award. Now, the IOC established the Olympic Order in 74 to honor individuals who have illustrated the Olympic ideals through their actions, have achieved remarkable merit in the sporting world, or have rendered outstanding services to the Olympic cause, either through their own personal achievements or their contributions to the development of sport. Now, her brother, Jack Babashoff, won a silver medal behind teammate Jim Montgomery in the 100-meter freestyle at the 76 Games, and her older brother, Bill, and sister, Debbie, were also swimmers who competed internationally. Now, she attended Fountain Valley High School in Fountain Valley, California, where she graduated in 74. In 73, she led the school to her first ever California Interscholastic Federation Championship in girls swimming. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we like to say in Canada, if it smells once, it's a fart. If it smells twice, it's shit. If it smells 3 times, it's a pile of shit. We knew that the Germans were doing something because we knew about Babashoff. We knew and known her talent. And I give you an example. At the world title events, in Cali, she won the 2 and 4. She won multiple silvers at the 73 Games. But she won 4 other medals at Cali, and they were suspicious. So we knew something was going on, but CBC did have the resources in Canada to investigate enough. So just a recount of her Olympic total: 2 golds in Munich, both in the relays, 76 gold 100-meter freestyle. Now these are silvers, ladies and gentlemen. 6 of them, 6 silvers, all behind these Germans. 100-meter freestyle, 200-meter freestyle, 200-meter freestyle in Montreal, 400 in Montreal, 800 in Montreal, and 4x100. So technically the best female freestyle swimmer of the 1970s, possibly the best female American swimmer in the 1970s, held back by complicit IOC and the East Germans. Now you got to understand, the Russians are no longer in the Olympics. They're not going to put up with drugs. But they were scared at the time. They didn't want to fight much against the Eastern European nations because, no offense, too much of a protest. They were scared it was going to lead to a world war. I kid you not. Can you imagine going to war over anabolic steroids? Well, that was a thought at the time because Carter boycotted the 80 Olympics, not because also in Afghanistan, because he didn't trust the Russians. And now with the Chinese controversy coming up about the last games, but all their swimmers being on drugs, whatever these Germans were taking, ladies and gentlemen, it would develop their upper body and help their recovery strength. Babashoff was a normal young American woman, a lot of strength. You look at Summer McIntosh, you look at Babashoff, it's the same style. Power through natural ability, power through genetics. But all those medals that the East Germans won, you should all be given back, and Babashoff should get them. I think she's the champion of 76. And in 1981 at Dalhousie Regional High School, we're talking about steroids, and the people were scared to battle against it. I coined a term that has never been used outside of my media group. It's called the Babashoff factor. When you have someone complaining that is not well liked, you will not be taken seriously. Like Michael Phelps said today, that if you cheat once in steroids, you shouldn't be able to come back. And that would be at least 50% of the American track and field athletes. Track and field is heavy on dope. Swimming was heavy on dope. Still is in a certain way. But here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. If they're all on dope, because Canadian athletes were not winning gold medals in 1976, now we're winning gold medals, silver and bronze. Coincidence? I wonder. So the clean countries are winning, where the dirty countries are not winning. Australians didn't need to use steroids. The Germans, like the pure Germans and West Germans, weren't using steroids. But Babashoff, I believed her from the moment I heard that the East Germans were cheating, because it made a lot of sense, because at the time, the East Germans were a puppet of the Russians, so the Russians were getting back at the States. See, Russia was never really strong in swimming in the 70s compared to East Germans. And you're saying to yourself, I'm going to ask you a question, okay? You look at the Olympics in 2024, right? It's a combined Germany, but you don't see like an East German style steroid controversy before it starts. It's always the Chinese, because the Chinese got 1 billion people. They can afford to do it. But Shirley Babashoff, again, all praise to her. And let me tell you, I'm proud to do this podcast and let a new generation of people know that she was fucked over by the Germans. I don't like the States because they're bad on drugs too, but Babashoff individually was fucked over, and she needs to be apologized to at least. So if they're not going to apologize, I'm going to say, Shirley, I was sorry that you were treated the way you were. You're a tremendous athlete. It was my honor to see you 48 years ago do your best in a Canadian event, and you always respected Canadians, and we respect you. So that's the story of the great Shirley Babashoff. If you like what you're doing here, we're a vintage Olympic podcast. Let us know when to like, comment, subscribe, or share.